Okay, welcome to our official Getting Started Right call for March 2020. We actually haven't done one of these since last year. So when I was updating this presentation, I just wanted to keep it as simple as I could, but I also really wanted to make sure that I connect the dots for you guys so that I could help any new coach that has any questions maybe lingering in the back of their mind. Hopefully this can help. And again, write in the chat box if you guys have other questions. I love answering questions. So good. I'm glad that you love my excitement. Sometimes people have told me that they're intimidated by me. And so I don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing. I just get really excited. So since I didn't say this while I was recording, I just want new coaches to know that this business is very much plug and play. And what I mean by that is don't be afraid to bring someone on or to sign up a coach on your team as a newer coach due to the fear of feeling like you have to teach them everything. I don't want you to. I just want you to be excited and welcome people with open arms and let our resources and these kind of trainings do the legwork for you. So if you have someone that is considering coaching, actually in 2 hours, I'm going to be hosting another webinar that shares more about what the coaching opportunity is, how it all works and all that. This would be for someone that has signed up and needs a little bit of guidance and direction in their business. So super quick, I just want to share a little 120 seconds, couple minutes about my story. I've been a coach, it will be 7 years in June. And it feels like longer because I actually signed up and bought Beachbody in October of 2012. And I bought the wrong flavor of Shakeology. I had a terrible blender and I hated Shakeology. And I was in a rock bottom part of my life where I had lost my corporate job. I was super broke. And back then you bought DVDs and Shakeology. There was no Energize. There was none of that. There was no Beachbody on demand. It was so different. I spent $205 and I wasn't happy. So I took advantage of the 30-day money back guarantee and I actually returned my challenge pack way back in the day. I'm sure my coach loved me. And so I came back in June of 2013, and that photo on the left there was just the line in the sand kind of story. It was the story where I was not happy with how I felt, not happy with the person I was. I wasn't happy with the direction my life was going. And since I had lost my corporate job, I was just really flailing around. So I was 26 then. And I just remember being like, if I don't make some serious changes and take ownership of my life, I don't know where I'm going to end up. And so I got the fitness results. I built fast as a newer coach just because I was so willing to show up and share my story because it was my accountability piece. If there's anything that you guys take away from this webinar today with being a new coach, know that my commitment and dedication to showing up and sharing my journey from day zero, from the very moment I hit submit on my coach application, I was sharing. And I said, every single day, Colleen, you have to give people the chance to believe in what you're doing. And the only way that they're going to actually see that credibility and see that story and see that transformation is if you show up and share it. And then, over the years, this picture on the right here is just a small fraction of some of our leaders on this team. This is what I envisioned was the community, the people, the realness. If you know me as a person, there's not an ounce of inauthentic blood in me. I just can't. I have to be myself. I have to share my mind. I have to be vulnerable. It's who I am. And so I always dreamed of having like-minded people do this with me. And so, from the very beginning, I knew it was going to take time. I had it in my mind that I'd have to show up for a year or two to really cast a vision for people. And honestly, around 2 years is actually when I got married, 2 years after becoming a coach. And things did start to fall into place because of the foundation and the work that I did in the beginning of those first 2 years to prove to people, I mean business, I want to change my life, and I want to help you do it too. So I'm going to share with you guys the how-tos in this business, exactly what to focus on. But I just think that the story is a huge piece of this. Whatever story you have in your mind right now, whatever story you see for yourself in the next 6 months, whatever you see for yourself in the next year or two, and I understand that this is a weird time to be thinking about the next year or two. It's a very ironic time. And for those watching this recording at any point, like we're in the middle of a pandemic. So I just know that without coaching, I'd be very lost. I wouldn't know what to focus on with my day. I wouldn't have my workouts. I wouldn't have this kind of work to dive into. This is so positive and so uplifting. And if I can be open and honest, the question that changed everything for me when I first started working with my coach, my very first Getting Started Right call, she asked me, if I could wave a magic wand over you, what would you want to change and happen in your life? What does your daydream life actually look like? And I started to think to myself, okay, well, I'd love to be home, have my own hours. I'd love to just focus on my health and fitness journey. That's kind of a dream come true for me. And I wanted to travel. I knew I wanted to be home with my kid. I say kids, I only have one, but kid. And like adventure and exploring is a huge part of who I am. And so I was like, that would be my dream day. And so every day that I would wake up to coach, I would ask myself, what do I need to do today in my business as a new coach to work towards that long-term vision? And so if you've never had someone in your work life or in your personal life ask you this question, if I could wave a magic wand over you, what do you want to change and happen? This is a question that you need to sit on and think on and dream on your own time, okay? And for a lot of people that have fear of, well, what if I fail? What if I'm not good at this? This was what propelled me through any fears. I asked myself, is someone else in the Beachbody world living a part of my dream life right now? And if the answer is yes, which it's always going to be yes, then it's totally possible. Everything has been done in Beachbody. The highest ranks, the highest incomes, the biggest teams, the most success stories. Like, it's truly all been done. So that means it's possible. I just have to choose if I'm going to create that story for myself. And so I start this new Coach Getting Started Right call with a lot of this vision and this dreaming, because you have to be very clear on what's going to get you up in the morning to go after those goals. And it's a little scary. It's new. Maybe you've never done that kind of mindset work before, but that's why we say stick around for the next couple of years with us, because we can teach you those skills. So ask yourself those questions. I think that the best question I can ask you guys right now, especially with everything going on, is where do you want to be in 6 months? I don't want to move backwards in my life. I don't want to feel my life unravel. For those that don't know my story, I've had multiple things happen in my life where it felt like my life did unravel and I hit rock bottom again. And coaching has always been, for the last almost 7 years, be what helps me piece the pieces back together for myself. This is so much bigger than just health and fitness. So at the end of the day, when you get a little nervous or worried about, you know, either people judging or people saying no, or if you're worried about, you know, how am I going to have the time or the energy to do all this, just ask yourself, are you willing to immerse yourself? You have to give yourself a chance, right? Are you going to sacrifice a little bit now and commit to being a new coach? I mean, it's a little weird timing with where some people have too much time right now and they don't know how to handle this new routine and this new schedule. There's other people, like Jennifer's in a nursing home. She's working in the medical world. Like, there's so many different scenarios right now. But at the end of the day, you have to choose if you're going to immerse yourself. So first things first, the most important thing that you do as a new coach is work on yourself. We really want to make sure that you experience the products and the programs and get results, because what's really going to help your confidence in sharing them is when you feel good about yourself, when you feel good about the results. And it's not just the before and after. Every new coach often thinks that they have to have the before and after, then they can go coach. It's really actually your experience with, you know, when you have Energize and you notice that how much of a difference it makes in your workout, or when you try to be mindset and you start losing 10, 20, 30 pounds, that's going to build your confidence to be like, wow, I really do need to get out there and share this. So this is a huge part of being a new coach. Number 2 is falling in love with Beachbody. I think sometimes people dip their toe in with the community and with the team and with everything that Beachbody offers in the online resources. When they dip their toe in, they really don't give themselves a chance to fall in love with Beachbody. Our team is so amazing. I mean, I show up with passion and excitement to do this all the time. And imagine if I was to take away, the team calls and the national wake up calls and just the community aspect, if I took away the challenge groups, there wouldn't be much to it. So give yourself the chance to fall in love with that. And then thirdly, you have to share it, right? So you can't just use it for yourself, hoard it, and hide behind the scenes. You really have to make sure that you share your experience, the honest experience. We don't want you to sell Beachbody. We actually want you to sell your own journey, which is why it doesn't matter how many Beachbody coaches there are in the whole world. Doesn't matter. Your journey is it's so unique. You're the only person that has your story. That's why you have to share products, programs, and your experience with them. It's not, hey, I lost 30 pounds with 2B Mindset. It's, here's what I did to lose my 30 pounds. And you talk about the experience. So working on yourself is really going to bring out that confidence if you don't necessarily have it right now. The other thing that we do, of course, in terms of focusing on yourself, is you also along the way want to help other people change their life with the products. I know that can be scary for some people to think about reaching out to people. We make it pretty simple and fun for a new coach. And if I'm being honest, it's the easiest for a new coach, right? It's new. You have an entire market of people out there that you're friends with on social media, in person, at work. Don't overcomplicate it as a new coach. It's going to get harder down the line when you've used up your warm market. So just take full advantage of having a warm market to work with and just get them excited in the same fashion that you are. And then the last thing is, I think new coaches often think, oh, well, I have to have my own success story first before I can tell someone else that they can join me as a coach. And that's not true at all. You only have to be 1 or 2 steps ahead of someone else before you can actually help them. And so if you started coaching and you know the ropes of, at least I post on social media, I drink my shake, I drink my personal development. I guess you can do that. Do my personal development, show up on team calls. You only have to be a couple steps ahead of someone else to help them get started. So it's also important to just have that mindset of telling people that they too can actually help other people change their life, especially right now, right? So just keep it simple. Think about how your coach invited you, how they got you excited to join their team. That's really all you just kind of have to think about in terms of working on yourself. So when I get out there and I share on social media, I think about, what do I want to speak to today? Is it about my team? Is it about my fitness results? Is it about what gets me excited to read my personal development? Whatever that experience is for you, the most important to do is working on yourself. I've been through cancer with my husband. We've had to move in. He went through chemo. I had a terrible winter with a bunch of injuries. Cracked my head open. We had all the crazy sicknesses. And even though I wasn't able, 7 years in, even though I felt like my world was unraveling, I knew that the most important thing that I had to do when my life felt like it was just combusting in front of me was work on myself. It always comes back to that, okay? Pretty sure I hammered that home, so we'll move along. As a new coach, it's important to be resourceful and to really plug in. Know the resources that are available to you. The Coach Online Office, for a lot of the specific policies, and we call them FAQs. There's a lot of FAQs available in your Coach Online Office that answers a lot of questions, like how much things are, how much you get paid for things, like just the basics. But also don't be afraid to use our team pages. I've also created what's called a unit section. So in the Facebook Dream Corp team page, there's a unit section that has all of our team call recordings. I am in the middle of updating our new coach manual, which I actually did the other day, and the internet hated me. And I spent 2.5 hours updating it, and it reverted back to the old. I don't know what happened. So my plan was to have that done and to give the updated new coach manual to you guys when I did this, but I had to take a breather for a couple days because that was a lot of work and it didn't save. So that was heartbreaking. But coachfaq.com is actually another website that you guys can use. YouTube and Google is a great resource. Just be careful if you guys YouTube or Google something. Be mindful of the date. For example, if you look up how to rock social media on rock social media with Beachbody and YouTube, if a video comes up from like 2013, that's probably not going to serve you because it changes all the time. So just be mindful of the date of the resource that you're using. Another amazing resource that new coaches should all be plugged into, so this is a to-do. If you're taking any notes, go look on Facebook. It's actually called the Beachbody Champions page. So you can search that page and request to be added, and Corporate has top coaches in there every single week sharing top tips. They do power hours to help you learn how to do your business in short, focused amount of time. They have all sorts of amazing resources. So if you are feeling lost ever, this is kind of where you want to dig your teeth in. Okay, ask questions in the team page, reach out to your coach. And as far as what our team does, every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific, we get together and we do a virtual meetup. I know a lot of you probably know that, but it's important for you guys to get on those if you can, or watch the recording later. And today we also had the National Wake Up Call, which you should actually be getting an email from Beachbody, and it's also posted in our team page. I see the chat. I'm just going to make sure that I open up the chat. Okay, awesome. So where do you find your training? This is actually new. In the last 6 months, Beachbody has updated their Getting Started Right video. So I actually updated the new coach manual, but it didn't save. In case you guys didn't know, there's 5 super simple videos for a new coach. Every single new coach needs to go in there, go through them. It's 20 minutes total, so you could bang it out in one day if you wanted to. Teaches you how to set up your website, teaches you how to set up your direct deposit. So again, if you are signing up a new coach and you feel like you don't know where to guide them, you send them to the Coach Online office. They click on training and getting started. That is how they kind of kick off their business. The new coach handbook, again, to be determined, to be updated this week, but it is pinned at the top of the team page in an announcement post. You can click view all announcements and you'll see the new coach. I think it's actually called the new coach manual. I go back and forth between calling it a handbook and a manual, but that is there. Is there a lot of information in the manual? Yes, but guess what? I always assume that there's a rock star out there who's like, I want to dive in, I want to sink my teeth in, tell me how to be successful, and that's why it's there. So as far as training goes, we really just teach you guys to make your first post. Clean up your social media a little bit, you know, like all those really kind of pointless shares of like sad dog videos and like just like the timeless things that a lot of us tend to do on social media before we start to use it for our business. Just clean up your profile a little bit. Just think about it this way. If you were to open a brand new storefront, okay, like you go to a brick and mortar, you're renting out this slot for your new store, you would paint the walls, you would sweep the floor, you would clean it up so that it would look presentable. I like to think of my social media. I'm not asking you to be perfect and polished. I'm just saying clean it up and start to think about, okay, who do I want to represent and what is it that I want to share on my social media? In your new coach training, we always tell you, make a list of 25 people that you think want to do this with you. If this is the part that makes you want to throw up, this is the part where you kind of have to start to face that uncomfortable feeling and dance with it a little bit. What's his name? Dave Hollis just made a great video yesterday, Rachel Hollis's husband, and he said, right now in this time in life, how we climb this hill is going to be how we climb every other hill. And this is kind of the first hill for a lot of coaches, is creating that, hey, I decided to become a coach, here's what I'm doing, here's what I'm focusing on. That often is the first hill and the scary part for a lot of coaches. And so just ask yourself, am I committed? Am I dedicated? Where do I want to be in 6 months? And just cross that line. Start to dance with that fear, why can't I talk? Fear and feeling of being uncomfortable. So let's talk about what a coach should focus on. Now that you know like how to kick things off, what to focus on as far as those first couple of videos, your websites are set up, your direct deposit is ready. What do I focus on? And like, what's the blueprint to be successful as a coach? So we have 4 vital behaviors. The first one is to always be proof the products work. At the end of the day, when I was pregnant, when I went through the crazy up and downs in my life, I always focused on being proof the products work. So guys, right now, life could be as I don't think that there's any time in our life as a whole, as a community on this planet, that life in my lifetime has ever been crazier. And so at the end of the day, are you crushing your nutrition program? Are you crushing your workouts? Are you using your shakes and your products? Be proof the products work. Um, I really honestly believe that if you want to take this business serious and you want to go big with it, you should be using one of the nutrition programs. You need to be using Shakeology and the performance line, and you have to be doing a workout. I'm not saying that you can't be successful without it, but that's like the total solution. I'm an online health and fitness coach. I'm getting results so I can help other people. That's just kind of like a no-brainer to me. So the second thing, after you're being proof the products work, you want to make sure that you're sharing that online, connecting with other people, and then inviting them. So share your journey and start conversations. The better that you do at sharing your journey on social media, the better response you're going to get from people. The more likes, the more comments, the more conversations you can have. But I always tell people, if you're going to play quiet and shy and not choose to show up bold and bright and passionate about this, connecting and inviting is going to be very difficult for you. So start with sharing, be bold, be brave, and people, I mean, think about it. Anytime that you've seen something inspiring online, you're commenting and you're liking on it, most likely. That's the way that I think about my social media. Am I giving people a chance to actually engage in a conversation with me based on what I'm sharing? So as a new coach, or doesn't even matter if you're a new coach or not, these are the things that we focus on. We'll talk about inviting in a second, but the other piece is personal development, number 3. I almost think that personal development should be first, because without getting your headspace right, nothing else matters. Because I could do my workout, I could drink my shake, I could share my posts on social media, but if I'm not in a positive mindset, if I'm not in a happy place, if I'm not growing myself as a person, I'm not going to be excited to get out there and change people's lives, especially in a time like this. So I can always tell it's very obvious by a coach's attitude or by how they're showing up on social media if they have their personal development on lockdown. I mean, I don't think 10 minutes a day is enough, but it can be a start for people. So make sure that you really take the ownership of this vital behavior, because that's going to be what strengthens your mindset in the areas that you feel a little weak or unsure. And then lastly, another vital behavior that we have is to get people results. So there's a difference, I always have said, between a Beachbody coach and a CEO. As a Beachbody coach, there's kind of 2 different categories of people. And so there's lots of people who slay their health and fitness journey. There's lots of people who read the books, who use all the products, but they're not focusing on this last vital behavior, which is, it's also our responsibility to help other people get results. Between showing up in the challenge groups, checking in with your clients, recognizing them, shouting them out, that is what I wake up every single day to do. My goal every single day is to help a new person. Whether I sign them up with Beachbody On Demand, if they buy a challenge pack, if they join my team, every day, the forefront of my mind, because all the other vital behaviors, almost 7 years in, are kind of, like clockwork to me. My goal is to get people results. So it's just something to think of as a new coach. You can do all the health and fitness stuff, but make sure you don't forget that our job is to also help people. So now that you guys know what we should be focusing on, let's talk a little bit about business goals. These goals should be achieved if you're doing the vital behaviors and doing the things that we talked about. And so our first goal is to get on the Success Club board by helping 3 people get started with the same thing that you did. As a new coach, you're probably not going to know our whole catalog of products and everything, and I don't expect you to as a new coach. All you know is what you're currently using, right? All you know, like let's say someone signs up with the Bar Blend Performance Pack and they have Energize and Recover, they're doing Bar Blend, they have Beachbody On Demand. You're really only going to be able to speak to that workout because it's all you know. And so just keep it simple for yourself. I mean, I'm not saying that if someone else asks for something else, of course you can help them with that. But the best phrase that my mentor taught me when I was a new coach trying to hit Success Club was, don't act like you know it all. When someone asks you a question about something you don't know the answer to, she says, just say, all I know is ... So all I know is I'm loving my Bar Blend workout. All I know is Energize is the only reason I'm getting my workout in. All I know is that my post-workout recovery shake helps me, not feel so sore the next day. So I actually get up and work out again. So keep it simple. Help 3 people get started with the same thing as you. If they want something different, that's totally cool. I just don't want it to deter you from feeling like, oh, well, I can't help people. I don't know all the things yet. So start with your friends and family while you build your market. Think of 3 BFFs. Ashley Molstead, actually, I think in the next couple slides, I talk about her invite process. She's one of our top coaches in the company, and she did this really cool training video for new coaches that was like, think of it this way. She loves Taylor Swift, so this was her example. Taylor Swift has a new concert coming out. You're gonna call your 3 girl best friends that all love Taylor Swift, and you're gonna be like, hey, there's a Taylor Swift concert. Do you guys wanna come with me? I'm super excited. And you're excited because you love it, right? And so you're inviting people to join you. Keep it casual. You don't need to be all robotic and salesy. Just talk to the people that you would love to genuinely have in the challenge group with you. In my challenge group, I have so many amazing coaches who show up, and they're just amazing people, and I want more of that. So if you're showing up in your group and that group is kind of what's keeping you going and you love showing up in that challenge group, our team calls them all different things. The Virtual Health Club, the Virtual Wellness Studio, we have all sorts of different names. But just get them excited to invite them to your community and come have the same experience as you. So help 3 people get started with a challenge pack. That's your first business goal, hitting Success Club, getting on the Success Club board. I also have a little asterisk here because I want people to know that you have to have Shakeology or something on Home Direct that equals 90 volume points. So I wrote, AKA get your Shakeology. Like, no questions asked. I understand that things happen. You have backstock of products sometimes, maybe like you were sick for a week, didn't use it, whatever. You should always be getting your products so that you can make sure that you also hit Success Club. That's a requirement in order for you to hit Success Club. So sometimes a new coach stops their products, and that just defeats the whole purpose of, again, being proof the products work. So that's just really important. So for you to start filling up a challenge group, you're probably not going to start your own challenge group. I think I would say I'm guessing, but I think 100% of the leaders on our team have their new coaches invite to the challenge group, Virtual Health Club, Virtual Wellness Studio, that is already going. I don't think a new coach needs to go off and create their own group. So don't get overwhelmed. We just want you to focus on talking to people, getting them excited to join you in the group that's already started. And so if you just signed up a couple weeks ago, it's March 30th today. April 1st is a great day. You should try to hit Success Club for the end of this month anyways, but April 1st, as soon as a new month hits, every single day I'm showing up heavily promoting what I'm doing with my health and fitness so that I can fill up my challenge group early on in the month and hit Success Club early on in the month. So start inviting people now. Did you make your list? Have you made your coming out announcement post? And guys, your coaches are here to help you. If your coach is brand new and they're still kind of navigating, how to be a new coach themselves, everyone has an upline that can help them. So that's why I'm telling you guys to be resourceful and use our team pages, use the resources that are available to you. And then once, people start joining you, add your challengers to my/your coaches group so that you can learn and watch how we run the groups. And eventually you might branch off and have your own group, and that's totally cool. But for now, we just want to keep it simple and have you guys come join us. So your first invites, this was Ashley's video. If you do go to the unit section of our team page, that training video of how to do your first couple invites is actually loaded in there. But I really just feel like your first invites as a new coach, it's all about becoming a conversation master eventually. I'm not saying you're going to master it on April 1st, but it's just the more you practice, the better that you'll become. Your goal is to talk to 3 people a day. And if you're doing all the vital behaviors that we talked about, working out, drinking your shake, feeling good about your PD, and focusing on helping people, your social media should be looking pretty strong, right? Like your first couple weeks, you might stumble a little bit, but you will eventually start to really piece it all together. And we call it attraction marketing, attracting people to join you. And so in your first invites, just start conversations to open the door. Don't worry about closing the deal right now. I think sometimes new coaches get so overwhelmed. They're like, I have to like close the deal. Like, we don't have to think of it that way. Just focus on starting the conversations, because on April 1st, through this madness, people might just be a little unsure if they want to start a new health and fitness journey. But come April 10th, when they're still in quarantine and they're kind of losing their mind, they're like, oh, I should really reach back out to Sarah because she invited me like 10 days ago and now I could really use a workout. So you have to understand that starting the conversation is the biggest piece to success when it comes to inviting and then eventually people joining you. I would say 50% of the time, a lot of people are like, hey, no thanks, not right now. But I always follow up with them because I did a good job of having a good conversation with them. It might be a better time for them in a couple weeks, next month, next year. You never know. Your goal is to just start the conversation. Make it short, passionate, exciting. And in case you guys need help with invites, we have a ton of scripts available in our team resources as well. So that's why I was saying, as a new coach, I was a sponge. I was that really good student who was showing up, using all the resources available to me because I didn't know anything. So I had to, dig my teeth in. You can't just sit there and say, well, I don't know what to say, right? That's kind of silly. You have to really take that ownership and go find those resources, which are all available to you. So think about your pain points, right? Like right now specifically, what is your pain point? I feel like we all have a similar pain point with like just feeling a little down, feeling a little unsure. And so what are you doing? What's the positive spin that you can put on it? How is coaching? How is Beachbody? How is your workouts helping you? And that's what I'm doing. So my invite last night to someone literally said this. Of course, where am I going to find it? So I said, hey, Cassie, how are you holding up during this craziness? I know life feels a little crazy right now, and all I keep thinking is how my workouts and routine are saving me. I know you considered joining me a little bit ago, and it wasn't the right time, but I felt like I had to reach back out and see how you were. I also wanted to see if you felt like, this is hard to read because I'm like skipping words. See how you were, and also see if you feel like focusing on some workouts and nutrition would be helpful. If not, no worries. I just feel like I have to do my job and ask. Do you guys see how that's not icky? I'm being honest. I just feel like I have to do my job because I'm thinking about like the world sitting in their house, losing their minds right now. And I'm like, we have to invite them. One of my other mentors always told me, my job is just to invite. Okay, that's it. My job is to invite them. What they say next, it's up to them. It's okay. Don't get too wrapped up in it. Also, as a new coach, make sure you have a place to write down the people that you've had conversations with. For 5.5 years, I grew a 6-figure business by using a planner and writing people's names down. That was it. So follow up and make sure that you track those interested. So now that you know that your goal is to show up and to help 3 people get started as a new coach, let's introduce a second goal. And so your second goal as a new coach is to hit the rank of Emerald, which is honestly you plus 2 coaches. Sign up 2 coaches, one on your left leg, one on your right leg. And as long as they have 50 volume points or higher on their account, which if you're selling a challenge pack, they'll have more than that. And you're an Emerald coach. This really opens up your business to start getting other benefits, such as when you hit Success Club and you're the rank of Emerald, Beachbody actually gives you customer leads. I got 11 customer leads last week because Beachbody had almost 100,000 people sign up for Beachbody On Demand with all of this stay-at-home stuff. And so hitting Emerald, signing up 2 coaches, and hitting Success Club is super important and beneficial, not only to move your business forward. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about like the compensation stuff right now, but just know that you will get customer leads by hitting those 2 goals, and you can start to earn the weekly team cycle bonuses. And that's going to be the stepping stone to the rest of your business. So when it comes to my business, I didn't earn a 6-figure income by just selling a million things. It was by growing my team and helping them be successful. So that first aspect of like growing your team and expanding your business is signing up 2 coaches. My first coach was my husband. My second coach was a best friend who wanted the discount on Shakeology. I got to Emerald in my first week. Keep it simple. And so I always offer people to sign up as a coach because they're going to save 25%. on their products every month. And in the new coach manual, I actually have like the exact script that I use of how I sign people up. So you don't have to overcomplicate it. I always just say, hey, I'm going to sign you up as a coach. You don't have to coach if you don't want to. But if you're going to get your products every month and fall in love with this like I have, I just want to make sure you get the same discount as me. So I just want to briefly kind of talk about sharing on social media, because this is something that someone either just takes by the horns and is like, I'm sinking my teeth in, I want to do this, or they're afraid of it. And so just know, if you're not sharing, your business doors are closed. Like if you're not sharing on social media, you don't really have a coaching business yet. But at any moment, at any day, you can decide if you want to dive in. So my best practices, I mean, I've grown, I would say 95% of my business on social media. I was studying successful coaches. I was sharing my face, meaning sometimes I'll see a coach that's afraid to like show up with themselves on social media because it's a little awkward for them to start to take pictures, but people seeing your face is what connects them with you. It's what makes you real, true, and authentic to yourself. Make sure you're sharing what actions you're taking. Okay, so what are you doing over there right now to stay on track with your nutrition? What are you doing right now over there to make sure that your mind doesn't go to crack during this time? What are you doing right now to create a positive lifestyle for yourself? So every day as a new coach, I don't know why, I wanted to have my own website. So back then my last name was Eddy. Like ColleenEddy.com would have made me feel so official and so cool back then. But because like creating a website back then was a lot more difficult than it is now, makes me sound old, I honestly was like, all right, I'm just going to use my Facebook as my blog post. So if you're showing up and sharing your journey, make sure it's not like a two-liner. I mean, sometimes it can be once you kind of get the skill down of sharing your story on social media, but really think of this as a blog entry post. I need to really feel what you're feeling. I should be able to close my eyes after reading your post and I feel like I'm there with you. This is a skill you will craft over time, but that's why I say best practices are honestly to kind of study successful coaches and how they're sharing their story. My coach did not spend an ounce of time teaching me social media. I did that for myself by studying successful coaches. So I've already said this, don't sell Beachbody, like sell you. Sell your passion and your excitement to help other people. Share your journey and inspire others. Your PD will show. The more uncomfortable that you get now, the easier it is day by day. And I honestly just post once a day on my Instagram and Facebook, and then I use the Instagram stories to kind of fill in the gaps of sharing my lifestyle, the mom life, the adventures that go on and all that. So if you can set a goal to kind of have one solid post a day and then update people throughout the day, make sure you don't copy other coaches. I feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but you never copy other people. You're just mimicking the idea of their post. Like, oh, that's a good idea. Now I'm going to go own it and make it my own. And start now, right? This is a learned skill. Make sure you stay coachable. Back in the day when I used to have a really huge team, I still have a huge team, but I work more with my downline now than I do signing up a bunch of coaches, because this is like the stuff that I feel like I'm really good at and I love. But for me, I remember coaching my coaches on their social media. So I'd tell them to write up a post, they would send it to me, and I would kind of help them navigate the newness of being a newer coach. And I'd say, here's where I would change this a little bit. So I don't know if your coach is open to that. They probably are. But I always feel like working together on social media is something that's really helpful. And you only have to do it a couple times for a coach to really get it. And failing is part of the process. So just get uncomfortable. One of my other mentors, who is actually a male in this business, which there's a lot of females in this business, told me, Colleen, we get paid to be professional storytellers. And that opened up so many doors for me to go all in with my social media, because I'm like, wait, I get to be home. My post sits out on social media forever and can do so much of the legwork for me. So for the coaches that don't use social media for their business, I just feel like they're missing out on this massive opportunity to share their story and to get the word out there. Social media is also free. Like I grew my business to 6 figures without really doing much paid advertising at all. use Instagram, use Facebook, whatever platform you want to master. I think that those are the two most popular. But when you look at these images, you can obviously tell that Megan and Candace have spent time curating photos. And granted, I mean, Megan's a newer coach. Candace has been doing this for about 6 years. And I mean, they both really have talent and skill with getting creative, having fun. It's not the same pose in every single picture. And so when you go to someone's profile on social media, we only have 7 seconds to make an impression, right? And so it really has to stand out. And for me, like, this is a quote unquote store I would walk into. People are window shopping on social media right now. They are consuming social media like it's their job. So this is our chance to really stand out and tell our story. And so I just like to show you guys kind of what feed stands out. Like, these are 2 girls that I would go and follow. And if you look back at the beginning of my social media, it did not look like this, okay? So let yourself kind of be new, and you might suck at first, but that's why we work with you guys over time, but you just have to start and dive in. So let's talk a little bit money, a little bit business, because at the end of the day, this is a business. Whether or not you came into this to go big with it or to just earn a little supplemental income, I feel like it's my job to show you the potential and the opportunity. Oops, sorry if there was questions. Do you shout out clients on team pages, or should we do it on our personal pages? So clients, you want to promote on social media. I don't really feel like there's much of a benefit to posting it in the team page necessarily. I mean, it's cool to give people shout outs if they're in the team page, but anytime that a client or a coach is getting insane results, that is going right on my social media, because that's social proof, right? People are like, sometimes when I was a newer coach, it would be all about me. Look at Colleen's results. Look what Colleen is doing. And I realized that, like, I kind of become white noise. So anytime that I would bring in someone else's story or someone else's results or what my team was doing, people listen, especially in this time. People need that community. They don't want to feel alone. And again, if my story becomes white noise, I know, like, hey, look at, I helped my client lose 25 pounds. That also gives me social proof in the aspect that I'm helping people. Sorry if I missed questions. Okay, cool. It was hiding behind the little chat box over there. So first, our goal is to help 3 people get started with the challenge pack, right? And so if you sell a $160 challenge pack times 3, you earn $150. So you're actually going to cover the cost of your products plus earn a little extra income. For me, I sell a lot of the $220 challenge packs because my unwavering belief is in our nutrition program, plus the workouts, plus the products, and those tend to be more in the $220 range. So let's say you sell 3 of those, that's $225. It's not like we're earning nickels and dimes for helping people. It's a $75 commission for that challenge pack there. That's why I say have an experience with the programs and products yourself first. It's super important. Otherwise, you could never recommend a nutrition program to someone else, because then you truly would just be selling to them. But if you're sharing your story and experience, then you're just sharing something, you're sharing a solution that works. So let's say in your first month, okay, you sell the $360 challenge packs, you make $150. Then you continue to help these people by showing up in a challenge group together, and you build a relationship with them. Once a week, I have a list of my challengers, and I just check in with them. Hey girl, how's it been going this week? Are you still loving your workouts? I hope everything's going okay. I know this time is crazy. Reaching out to your clients, whether you don't have to do it every week, that's just personally what I do. It just goes a long way, because my biggest fear is for someone to ever think I just sold them something and then I disappear. It doesn't work like that in my world. I really cultivate these relationships, and showing up in the challenge group myself is also very important, so that they see me showing up. It tends to help them to want to show up as well. So then in month 2, so you sell someone Shakeology and Bar Blend, Beachbody On Demand, they're loving it. So then month 2 comes around and you help 3 more people. So your new customer commission would be $150 again, because we always want to help 3 people every month. And then those people that were on Shakeology from the first month, if they get their shipment of Shakeology as a customer, times 3, you earn $96. So If they are signed up as coaches, that is different. You're not going to earn retail commission. That's a different story. But for the most part, not everyone's signing up coaches. But if your customer in month 2 gets their Shakeology again because they love it so much and they're getting results and you're doing a really good job as a coach, you can earn $246 in month 2. So on and so forth. Let's talk about month 3. Just, it continues to have this snowball effect as you continue to help 3 new people every month and have that customer retention for people to stay on their products. Does everyone stay on Shakeology? No. Sometimes they switch to Energize, sometimes they cancel, but just make sure that you have it in your mind and in your workflow to build those relationships with people. So as a new coach, like earning an extra $800, it's pretty amazing, right? So how are you going to achieve your goals? We've talked about what you should focus on and posting, and there's a lot of different personality types out there in the world. Some people overwhelmed, some people kind of thrive without a schedule, all different. But at the end of the day, for a new coach, learning and working that discipline muscle is going to be very important so that you stay on track. Because sometimes a new coach will spend their time designing graphics or spending too much time like creating recipes for people, and that's not what a new coach should be doing. So in our team page, this is uploaded to the unit section. You can also find it in your Coach Online office, but this is called the Success Club System. It's a daily business activity tracker, and it tells you everything that you need to do every single day. So on the tracker, we have, update your Instagram and Facebook story throughout the day, and it gives you ideas of what to post. The most important thing that I see new coaches miss is the invitation and promote your group. Whether you do a poll or you tell them to email you, whatever it is, imagine the compound effect of every day of April, you do the Success Club activity tracker every single day. How many of you believe that you'll help 3 people next month, right? It should happen. If it's not happening and you're doing these things, something is off. Sometimes it's confidence, sometimes it's the way you're inviting people, but this is really the bread and butter of where you should be focusing. So in your first month, I just like to kind of set the expectation, okay? So just like start your basic setup and go through that really basic training. It's super quick. Get your personal development books ready, your podcast ready. I do have recommendations in the new coach manual if your coach hasn't given you any suggestions of what to focus on. And you have to get super serious and committed to your journey. If you signed up 3 weeks ago, you should really already have an idea of how amazing these products and workouts are. You should start to feel some type of result, mind, body, and soul. The first month is so imperative for a new coach because it is either going to skyrocket their belief in what we do, or because they didn't dive in all in yet to their own journey, they're not quite as excited. Plugging into the challenge group. I've always said that the best coaches are the best challengers. And so I think of my challenge group as a place where I'm grooming potential coaches. If I have a challenger, which I do right now, I've had this girl with me for like 6 years, and now because the whole world out there is changing in her workplace, she's been showing up in my challenge group like crazy, and I'm like, girl, you have to coach with me. And she's going to actually join us on the new coach or the What is Coaching webinar in a couple hours. But because I've plugged into the challenge group and poured into there and she saw me lead the way, now she's considering doing it for herself because she's seeing how much this is helping her. So plugging, also when I sign up a new coach, when they are showing up in my challenge group, I notice them. So if your coach doesn't have the chance to notice you or to pick up on what you're doing, it's hard for them to really know your level of commitment. Okay, if I can't even get a coach to show up on my challenge group, I'm just going to assume like they're really not that into it. So share your journey, make your announcement post, and post daily as if it's your job, because it is. Inspire people and prove to them this works. I was hell-bent on showing people as a new coach that this works. I didn't care if they didn't believe me, because at the end of the day, it did work for me. At the end of the day, I got results in my personal journey, my personal life, and in my business. I had to take ownership that I would show them that this works. I wasn't going to let the possibility of me not being good at this be the thing that dictated me. Okay, you have to really, there's always going to be in your mind, well, what if this happens? What if that? This is why we do PD, to really strengthen. So your brain is a muscle, just like your physical muscles. Day one of your workout, those 10 push-ups kill you. But in a month, you can maybe do 15 push-ups or whatever. Your brain is also a muscle that you're gonna have to strengthen to stand up tall, inspire people, and prove to them that this works. That is part of being an entrepreneur. So I always tell my team, don't choose overwhelm. When I hear a coach say I'm overwhelmed, I just usually find that they have too many priorities in their life, right? And so choose to decide what priorities are in your life. I have 3. Number 1 is my health, my energy, and this temple that I have. Because when I don't feel good, when I am tired, when I am grouchy, everything else in the world seems dark and makes me frustrated, right? And so my priority is first myself. It's actually not my family first, it's myself, because I can't be good to my family or my team if I'm not taking care of me. I'm a crappy mom, I'm a crappy wife when I don't take care of myself. So it's so important that I take ownership of that. Secondly is then my family. After myself, my second priority is my family, of course. Then thirdly is my business. And all my mentors and all the gurus say you can only have 3 priorities. And if you have more than 3, that's why you're overwhelmed. I use a high performance planner, and every single day at the top, what are the top 3 things I need to focus on today? The laundry, the dishes are never on my to-do list because they'll get done later. These 3 things that I focus on are going to be what moves my life and my business forward. And that should be, at the end of the day, what we focus on, the things that matter, right? So as much as we want to have this to-do list right now, well, maybe we're not all home, but the majority of us are home, don't make it more difficult on yourself by making this massive to-do list. Pick 3 things every day that are important, that will move your life and business forward in terms of like overall themes, okay? So choose to share this beautiful opportunity. I hope that you guys will be bold and beautiful, and because it has been life-changing for me, and obviously I'm passionate about helping you guys do that for other people too. Keep it simple for yourself. Like at the end of the day, I can say all this to you and you can either get really overwhelmed or you can get really excited to just start learning and chipping away. And make sure that all your time and effort spent on this business is doing the vital behaviors. Don't add in the extra to-do list. Like you need to create a blog or a website. No new coaches should be doing that right now. Print out your tracker and just start. And stay connected and don't expect to do this alone. So when you get off this call, your focus is to really help 3 people get started with the same thing as you. Think of your list, invite them. You guys can go watch that video by Ashley. It's in the unit section of the team page. You can click new coach video resources, I believe is what the title is. And then once you get people to say yes, I actually teach you how to sign people up with the new coach manual too, if you don't know how to do that. You get them added to our boot camp, and the work is really done for you, like in the challenge group, right? You show up, everyone else shows up, it carries the group, and that's why I love this team. And then you show up and you get results together. So that was a lot. My goal was to not have this be an hour, but it's pretty much impossible for me because I love talking and sharing. Do you guys have any other questions that I didn't cover? My husband's vacuuming. That's rare. Something must have happened out there.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're so welcome. Do you have any questions? Anything?
No.
No? Okay. Cool. Well, anytime, like seriously, when a new coach posts on our team page and asks a question, I'm like, yes, I get excited. So if you guys think of anything after this, let me know. And I think this would be a good time for you to message your coach and just kind of send them a little paragraph about how you feel from this new coach webinar. Maybe you are overwhelmed, and then they can help you kind of break down, what to focus on. But hopefully I kept it exciting and simple enough for you guys to feel like you can take some action and focus on what you need to. So have a great day, guys.
You too. Thank you.